I'm making this video in an attempt to document my attempts to cat-proof my cinder block privacy wall here. I think this would work for a wooden fence too. In fact, if anything, it would probably be easier. But here's Toppy. I just pulled her out of the neighbor's driveway, and I think I found how she escaped. But first, let me go over what my cat-proofing is. So I have these pickets attached to the wall with either a Tapcon or a multi-material exterior screw, and then to that I have stapled hardware cloth. It actually would be better to use like a machine screw or something like that with a wide head and a washer to secure this to the pickets, but staples is what I had. And there's all these sticks laying against this portion of the hardware cloth because in the summer when things expand and get looser, there's this like gap that shows up, and in some places it's wide enough that if Toppy, you know, is down here and she looks up at it, she can see like a big gap and she can jump up on the fence. And in some places I've mitigated that with these nails that were already in the wall when I moved in. A lot of these nails already had like wire wrapped around them, so I just wrap that wire around the bottom of the hardware cloth to hold it in place so it doesn't bow out in such a fashion that she can get out. Like, here's a spot where it's kind of bowing out a little bit. I don't think that's enough that Toppy can get up there, but the spot where she escaped from, it was a little bit awkward putting the hardware cloth over where there's like this pier, and then the fence goes from being like 2 cinder blocks wide to 1 cinder block wide, and so I had left this gap, which you can now see I filled with pavers, but it used to just be entirely open, and my guess would be my guess would be she just jumped up onto the wall, under the hardware cloth onto the wall and got out. But yeah, it's not the prettiest. I probably could have done this part differently. This was actually like a piece I had to add on, or that picket was a piece I had to add on. Before I just had this picket here, and this was kind of just extending out and I had a rock behind it, but she was able to push that to get out. There's the troublemaker herself. But yeah, here's the other gate, and as you can see, more hardware cloth. This gap here, I don't know if she can get out this or not. I just have this piece of wood blocking it. If she tries to jump on this, it'll fall, and that might deter her from trying again in a timely fashion, and then I'll have that piece will be on the ground or tilted or whatever, and I'll have evidence she's trying to escape that way. But you'll notice I don't have the hardware cloth, like the top of the hardware cloth is not flush with the top of the board, and that's intentional. And my logic there is if she's somehow clings onto this and tries to climb up it, this will sag under her weight and she won't be able to get over it, versus if this was supported all the way to the top like it is on this fence here. You can see there I use the I guess that's a lag bolt and washer. It looks a lot nicer, but then I had to use a staple out down here because I ran out of lag bolts. Versus here, if she was to get onto this, she'd be able to climb over. Of course, there's 2 layers here, so it'll be a little awkward for her. And also, looking at this gate, you know, she can't jump all the way up to that. She's a small cat. And this is where she was getting underneath the gate, so I had to add that extra board. But yeah, the pickets are ones that I just got off of like Craigslist free. Someone posted some of these big like $70 pickets from Lowe's, and I tore those apart and I just cut off this part so it matched my other dog ear pickets. The hardware cloth is the most expensive part. In 2023 I think is when I bought the roll, and it was like $90 for 100 feet, and it's 1/2 inch hardware cloth. I would recommend not going any smaller than that, because 1/4 inch hardware cloth would probably be small enough that they can get multiple claws onto it and climb up it. But if it's like 1/2 inch or inch or 3/4 inch, I think that'd be harder for them to climb.